This video will cover how to perform a search for volunteers. To begin, it is important to define our terms. So, what is the difference between a feasibility and recruitment search? Feasibility searches allow researchers to use ResearchMatch for searching aggregate registry information only. This is the default setting when registering as a researcher and does not require registration of an IRB-approved study. Recruitment searches, on the other hand, are for contacting potential volunteers using the ResearchMatch system. To access this, researchers must have an approved and uploaded letter from the IRB. We begin on the researcher dashboard. As you can see, we currently have no registered studies and are therefore limited to performing feasibility searches. Click Start Searching to begin searching for volunteers. There are several steps or filtering sections to build a search. The filters act like a drop-down menu. You can use these filters to refine your cohort. As you move through the filters, ResearchMatch will update the number of volunteers meeting your search criteria. Please note that when performing a feasibility search, data is rounded to the nearest 10. This means that if you yield a count of 10, that 1 to 10 ResearchMatch volunteers match your search criteria. If there are no matches, the search will yield a count of 0. First, we will choose the type of search. As we do not yet have a study registered, we are limited to a feasibility search. Within this section, you have the ability to load previously saved search criteria. You may also save your search at any time by clicking Save Search As at the bottom of the screen. After selecting feasibility as our search type, we can move through the filters to refine our cohort. Let's say that we only want to include volunteers who live less than 50 miles from our location. ResearchMatch auto-populates your address based on institution. If your institution has multiple locations, you should see these in the drop-down menu. You may use as many location filters as you would like. In the next section, you can filter by a number of demographic filters. Let's say that we want to include volunteers ages 18 to 55. Click the Add button next to age criteria and enter the age range that we would like to include. As you can see, the total number of volunteers found has decreased to around 80. This tab is always visible as you scroll through the filters so that you have an idea of how your searches are affecting the number of volunteers fitting the criteria. Let's move on to the Health Conditions filter. Click here to read the instructions. The Health and Medication Filter System uses the logic operators AND, OR to help you refine your results. Using OR makes your set larger, and makes your set smaller. In our case, we want to include individuals with high blood pressure while excluding volunteers with coronary artery disease. To do this, I will enter high blood pressure into the Include Set 1, select the condition from the drop-down menu, and click Add. As you can see, this search will now include volunteers with high blood pressure. This section will update as you add more inclusion and exclusion criteria. Now, if we want to exclude individuals with coronary artery disease, we first need to click the Exclude Set tab. Type in the condition and click Add. As you can see, we are now including volunteers with high blood pressure while excluding volunteers with coronary artery disease. It's a good idea to check this box before moving forward to ensure that you have entered everything correctly. The medications filters work in the same way, and since we don't need to add any medication criteria, we will move on. At the bottom of the page, beneath the Save Search and Contact Volunteers button, you will see a summary of your search. This is a good way to verify everything is correct before moving on to the Select Volunteers section. You can also see how each search affected the number of volunteers meeting the criteria. In our case, the location criteria removed a significant portion of the ResearchMatch population. As we are only performing a feasibility search, the Select Volunteers button is grayed out. However, if you have an IRB approved study, you will be able to move forward and select volunteers you wish to contact. More questions? Please feel free to email us at info@researchmatch.org. Thank you for watching.